Will the new Star Wars Battlefront and the new Call of Duty World War II negatively affect Battlefield 1's player base? The new Call of Duty title is coming out on the 3rd of November, and then Star Wars are coming out 2 weeks later on the 17th, which will result in having 2 big game releases in the same month. And even though that some of you might say Battlefield 1 has dedicated fanbase and those players will stick with the game, it's not necessarily true. Both of those games are million-dollar productions, and those surely will make an impact on the gaming market. You also need to consider the fact that the amount of players interested in playing such games is limited. You can witness such thing if you look at other games and compare them to PUBG. Those that were already on the market and were popular before the game came out lost a bit of players because they switched over to Battlegrounds. And why am I bringing this up? Well, because Battlegrounds are the most popular game in the world right now, and it took over the whole gaming industry in a couple of months, so I think it's a fairly good example. Which brings us the question: if we get 2 big titles released in 1 month, could it potentially destroy the third one? There's also another important aspect that we need to consider in this discussion. When the game first launches, it gets ton of attention from players. Battlefield 1 on the release day had over 200,000 online players playing on all 3 platforms, which was more than 2 times more than we currently get on day-to-day basis. And what happened then? It started steadily decreasing. And I'm not even mentioning about problems with Battlefield 1 lacking content and other stuff. This is just a normal behavior for every game that comes out. At the beginning, there is a peak, and then it just goes down. And it will go down a bit because not all the players will stick to one title. Average player gets interested in the game for a week or 2 and then plays another game as well. Starting with how the new Battlefront could negatively impact Battlefield 1's player base, well, the first obvious fact is that both of those games are published by EA. And it wouldn't mean much, but then again, both games are also designed by the same studio. Which leads us to stuff like cross-promotion between games and other things, but most importantly, majority of players are at least aware that Battlefront 2 is coming out, which make them a lot more likely to try it out and see if they like the game. The second reason for why Battlefield 1 could be damaged by Battlefront is that those games are very similar to each other. And we're not talking about the theme, we're not talking about game mechanics, we're talking about the core game design. Many players, after playing Battlefield 1 for the first time, said that it feels like playing Battlefront, the OG one. I mean the previous one, not the OG one, but the one that came out before Battlefield 1. In general, at first, when most players launched Battlefield 1, they've said it feels like playing Battlefront in the World War I era. And due to the fact that those 2 games are similar to each other, some players might just switch to Battlefront because they are bored with Battlefield 1. Let's not lie to ourselves, Battlefield 1 doesn't offer much if you compare it to other games on the market. There aren't really that many new things added to BF1, and by the time the Battlefront will be released, Battlefield 1 will be out for more than a year. And I know I will get comments from people who enjoy Battlefield 1 that I'm completely wrong here, but you have to understand that 90% of the player base are casual players. And those players will play the game that gets their attention, and it's something new that they haven't played before. It's not going to be another CSGO or League of Legends. Those games are an exception in the industry. Not only that, but as we all know, not many Battlefield 1 players bought Premium. And DICE has already confirmed that with Battlefront 2, all of the players who own the basic game will get new content for free without buying any Premium Pass, Season Pass or other stuff, which is a lot better deal than the one we got with Battlefield 1, where we needed to pay $110 to get Premium and Vanilla game. The last reason why Battlefront 2 might take away players from Battlefield 1 is that Battlefront 1, or the previous Battlefront, failed. It wasn't played that much. The game died out pretty quickly, and due to that fact, all of the players who were still interested in playing this game switched over to Battlefield 1, at least some of them. But then again, if they get the new title released that they were already interested in before playing Battlefield, they will go back and play the one that they want to. And moving on to why Call of Duty could potentially affect Battlefield 1's player base, this is the exact same reason. Many fans of the franchise simply didn't enjoy the latest releases of the games, so Battlefield 1 turned out to be quite a good alternative to them. This is why I said that it's exactly the same thing as with Battlefront. Many of those players will go back to their favorite franchise just to see how they like the game, and majority of them are highly possible to stay there. The second reason why Call of Duty might hurt Battlefield 1 is that many Battlefield 1 players dislike the core game mechanics of the game. And I'm not claiming that Call of Duty will be better in that aspect, I'm just saying Call of Duty will be something different, and they will want to try it out to see which one they like more. I will do the exact same thing myself. I will play Call of Duty just because I want to see how different it is from Battlefield and what else it can offer. Believe me or not, but there is tons of people who constantly play both Call of Duty and Battlefield titles. And they don't care about some stupid Battlefield versus Call of Duty wars going over on the internet, they just want to play both games and enjoy them. Also, since Call of Duty will be located in the World War II era, they will have much more options to go with when it comes to the amount of weapons in the game and their customization system. Battlefield 1 doesn't really offer that much when it comes to the weapons section. And let's be honest, those are probably the most important part of the game, since the game is based on shooting enemies. So those are the reasons why Battlefield 1 players might leave the game and start playing either Call of Duty or Star Wars. And now comes the question, could it literally kill Battlefield 1? Well, it depends on your definition of the game being dead, and you also need to consider the platform that you're looking at. This is the fact that Battlefield 1 is doing a way better job on consoles than on PC. Here, the amount of online players is 2 to 4 times smaller than on consoles, and that's if you count both consoles separately. So combining all those factors together, is it possible for Battlefield 1 to die? No, it's not. Even here on PC, with such a low numbers, the game will still be populated enough to find your favorite game modes. Of course we will see the drop in player counts when those games get released, but then again, we've already seen this with Battlefield 4 and first Battlefront release. The player base got smaller for a while, but then the hype started going away, players started to get bored with Battlefront, and they came back. We also need to remember that Battlefield 1 will be getting the next DLC in December, so even if it somehow manages to lose tons of players, it will still gain them back, because players will want to see the new content. At least that's what I assume will happen. And this is something that you need to keep in mind, guys. The whole video is based on my own speculations, and it could go into completely opposite direction. I don't think it's very likely to happen, but then again, we're in 2017. Nobody expected a pre-alpha game to be the most popular game in the industry. Anyway guys, that would be it for this video. Let me know down in the comments if you are looking forward to try out the new Battlefront or maybe Call of Duty. And as always, if you enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and I see you on the battlefield!